Hello there. I'm Charlie Ocean, and my pronouns are they, them. Welcome to Allyship is a Verb, a podcast for people practicing allyship for the LGBTQ+ community and beyond.
Hey, my name is Ashabi Owagboriaye, and my pronouns are she, they.
Well, folks, we are in for a treat. Ashabi is a wonderful ACE advocate and organizer among many other roles and intersections. And as a result of International Asexuality Day, oh, Charlie, that we just had on April 6th, I want to quickly announce that she has launched an ACE flag revision survey, and we are going to hear more about why later in the conversation. So if you are ACE, I hope you'll consider taking it. It's about 3 minutes long. If you're not, please help spread the word. I'll have more information in the show notes and on our website. Jumping back a bit, International Asexuality Day, why do I keep saying it like that? I don't know, has 4 themes. International Asexuality Day has 4 themes: advocacy, celebration, education, and solidarity. So the timing of Ashabi's revision survey is pretty darn good. And now it's time for the self-reflection questions to think about while you're listening to the conversation. Be sure to stick around after for 3 more. Number 1, what does friendship mean to me? What does it look like? Number 2, is there a person from a community I'm part of that gives it a bad reputation? Number 3, what asexual representation have I seen, if any? If so, do I think it was authentic? And now, our chaos, unhinged chaos. You are asexual, a Black woman, androgynous, queer, and Nigerian. What do those intersections mean to you?
I would say they are just the cores of my identity. They're things that I really hold near and dear to me. Growing up as a Black woman, I am somebody who can't really hide that part of myself. That's who I am whenever I walk into a room. And being Nigerian on top of that, that's a part of my culture that I am very proud about. And I really enjoy sharing with other people, especially as somebody who's also queer. Queerness is not something that is outwardly celebrated in Nigerian culture. And as a person who is outwardly queer and also asexual, it's something that I like to tell everybody because there are still queer Nigerians and queer Africans who live in this world who deserve some sort of representation. And if I can be that for people and they can see me living my life in my truth and not being afraid to do so, that's something that I'll continue to do unapologetically as well. The androgyny part is something that I've been kind of holding on to for my Tumblr years. It's just something that I personally align with. I don't want to say that androgyny looks a certain way. And for me personally, just being a Black woman, my androgyny looks like it would for any other Black woman who aligns in my gender and my sexuality as well. It's just a way for me to express myself and be confident in that and not really have to worry about who I'm pleasing or why I should please other people when I step out of the room and go into a space. Like, I look like this, I am this, I'm very proud to be this. And however you perceive me is your perception, it won't really change how I show up in the world.
I thought of you this morning well before we hopped on the call, because something came up in my Instagram feed saying femme presenting is not an inclusive way to say women. The way that someone dresses or speaks is not necessarily indicative of their gender. In the same vein as non-binary people don't owe you androgyny, women don't owe you femininity, men don't owe you masculinity, gender fluid people don't owe you any of these at any given time. Would you say that resonates with you?
Yes, it does. And hold on, there was something that my friend sent me a few days ago that also aligns with me very much. Like, when it comes to androgyny and how I express myself in that way, a lot of the times it's not something that people understand because as a person who presents like very femme most of the times, I am just seen as like a Black woman, like a woman period. They sent me a meme saying Happy Women's Day to the non-binary people who are only women in a black woman type of way. And like, yes, it's a niche. Like that's very much how how I hold myself. I don't like using the term like non-binary. I align with androgyny like very much. Also because it begins with the letter A, and like Ashabi, asexual, ADHD, androgyny. It's like, oh wow, that's another thing that aligns with me. But like in that frame of like mind, I am very much like aligned to that. I am androgynous in a black woman way. And it's something that most black women, if you align in that like gender expression, understand completely. So what you said also aligns with that as well.
Well, I read the post, but yes. But I was just like, this is perfect for my guest. I'm curious about March 2024, the month we're currently recording this in. You have nearly 8,000 followers on Instagram, which is bananas. And you created Ace and Grace back in only 2019, which isn't that long ago, to educate folks about asexuality and uplift others within the community, and very intentionally certain community members. So from its starts to where it is now, people have been inspired by your openness. When first connecting a while back, I wrote down something you shared about that openness, that it, direct quote, can influence somebody and carry a generation in either direction if you're not careful. Could you share more about that?
I said that?
Yes, you did. Are you like, damn, right
I'm
now?
like,
Are you having
wow.
one of those?
Yeah, I'm like, I said that? That's crazy.
I wrote it down. Yeah, but I'm wondering if you could share more about that, and how do you navigate the responsibility that can come with being a visible advocate and educator within the community?
Wow. I'm still like sitting with the fact that I said that. Can you say it again?
Yes. That openness can influence somebody and carry a generation in either direction if you're not careful. I feel like a really good example of someone who's so polar opposite than you, that also makes me feel really gross because I don't want them to be on any sort of like spectrum or continuum with you,
Uh-huh.
would be someone like Caitlyn Jenner.
That's so fucking funny. I'm so sorry. That's actually fucking hilarious. Oh my god. Never in my life would I ever expect that to be the wow, Caitlyn Jenner? Crazy. Tell me why.
For me, she is demonstrated. I mean, okay. I held on to a sense of hope when she had her show. I think it was called I Am Kate. I Am Kate was a television documentary series that came out in 2015 and ran for 2 seasons. And there was a lot of speculation before things were confirmed as true in like tabloids and stuff that like my grandma would read for some reason. But sometimes they're on point. I can't lie. Like I don't know where they get their sources, but dang. So I don't love though that there was a lot of speculation about that and getting all up in her business of if she was having surgery or not, or if she was trans or not, because let people tell their own stories. And someone like her, she would tell you. She will happily tell you her story, especially for the right price. Or not even. Like we'll just yeah. So when she had that show and I watched every episode, I was like, you have some pioneers within our community more broadly that are sitting with you having these really crunchy conversations. And my interpretation, and this could be the editing, thanks Hollywood, my interpretation was that at that point, it felt like she was more like a sponge and wanting to learn and wanting to have those conversations. But we still knew she was conservative. We still knew she was more of like a Republican business mindset and okay, whatever. However, I don't know what the fuck happened because it felt like a wasted effort that, and I think it was a couple of seasons even. I don't even think it was just one season. I can't remember. The details are a little bit fuzzy because it's been so long. But I mean, now the way that she lives in that hypocrisy of, oh, I can transition medically. I can have access to these things and be like a real woman or whatever. And I can go and play golf now, but like trans girls can't have access to this. Like why? How can you I don't know. I don't know how someone could live with themselves carrying something that's like so opposite of how they're actually living their life. I just don't get where the misalignment is. I mean, power, privilege, all of that. But yeah, anyway, you were nodding with me, but that's how I feel. So I think she is unfortunately a very good example of someone who causes a lot of great harm to our community. And then it's like, gosh, why aren't these politicians supporting me? And like, why won't they let me be a spokesperson for them? What's happening? And I'm like,
So crazy.
don't play me right now. Are you serious with this? Are you again? Wasted on you. Our queer elders were fucking wasted on you. They tried. They tried giving you like a spiritual queer eye makeover and still.
Mhm.
So like my hope in my soul, in my existence is that there is still hope for her. I'm going to hold on to that tiny little hope I have, but I'm also not going to kid myself.
Mm.
If I can't hold space, and maybe this is part of like the educator in me, if I can't hold space for the fact that someone can change for the better, I think I'm in the wrong field or wrong profession. I say that also as a social worker. But if memory and history serves me well, I just will need a lot of receipts for her to like make that turnaround. But I don't know. But again, I'm going to hold on to hope that exists.
Yeah. I definitely hear the dichotomy between me and her now that you're explaining it. Like, being who I am, I'm consistently like the first person to say something about whatever is going on. And I'm consistently the first person to like be loud about it and be right about it because I have done many, many years of research and have a lot of experience with communities that revolve around the topic that we're talking about. And for me, when it comes to like asexuality specifically, like outside of Yasmin, I don't really see many people who look like me and speak as loudly about asexuality from my perspective as well. And even knowing that, I have had too many conversations with people who are queer who are just like, I have seen you talk about this, and I'm not comfortable talking about this just yet, but I am comfortable talking about this with you. And I would love to know how you carry yourself and like how you hold yourself to such high regard, or like how you hold yourself with such confidence about your own personal experiences. Honestly, sometimes that can be really discomforting because I don't see myself like that. I'm just like a little dude. I'm just like here. I'm just like chilling, like I'm just like living my life. But whenever I have conversations like that, whenever I have conversations like that, it's like it really pulls me back because it's like, oh wow, people like see me, and not just me, but people who know me see me, and they see who I am, and they see who I've been, and they've seen my journey, and they've seen me be consistent in how I experience life, and they just love the fact that I can do that without conforming to the judgments that other people have about what they think I should be. And when it comes to like fucking Caitlin, and then when it comes to me, it's just kind of like it's so interesting because I'm a person who's lived very many lives, and I have had the opportunity to have a lot, and I've had the opportunity to have like literally negative in my account for many weeks. So like I've been able to like go through both very often or just experience both things, and I've been able to have a really good community to support me. And seeing Caitlin and seeing how she has everything handed to her, essentially she has like the whole world in her fucking hand, and she's still choosing to not lean into community, and she's choosing to like platform community in a way that just makes her look good. That's like really crazy to me. Like I will never relate to somebody who has all the resources in the world to do better and still chooses to do wrong. And for me personally, there are so many reasons why I'm able to speak confidently. Granted, I didn't have a lot of role models like that in my life growing up. So a lot of the things that I'm doing, I'm purely just doing it and like trial and error and then like improving on that. But even with that, it's just people are seeing that, and they're seeing me like fuck up, and they're seeing me like come back even stronger. And it's like, wow, that's really, really motivating. And I really want to do that for myself. And it's really crazy because a lot of the times the people that I'm talking to, I keep forgetting that I'm older. It's really just that clicking for me sometimes that I'm older than a lot of my friends. So like they come to me as an elder queer, which is fucking crazy. And it's just, oh yeah, can you give me advice on like XYZ? And it's like, yeah, I can do that, but why me? And then they elaborate on certain things that I've done. And it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, let's have conversations about that, but also understand I don't want to be your point of contact. I want to be like somebody that you see and are inspired to get more information by, but also broaden your community, ask other people about these things and like have those conversations. And like a lot of times whenever I have conversations, especially with black queers and younger black queers, it's kind of like, yeah, you're one of the first people that I've seen come out and share their experiences as a black asexual, black queer person, a black woman, African queer person. It's just like, oh wow, that's really crazy to me to be in that position. And a lot of the times it's like very emotional because it's just like, oh wow, I'm literally just doing this because I didn't have this for me. And now people are seeing that it's like, oh wow, well, you are that for me. And I'm really glad that you exist. And it's like, oh wow, I would have never imagined that to be where I'm at right now. But again, if you don't know how to do that properly, I guess I mentioned once upon a time, it can go into one direction or it can go into a different direction. But I feel like the directions that I've been going to have been helpful to the people that are aligned to me. So I hope that continues being where I move forward when it comes to educating and advocating for these things.
I'm only going to quote you more because you say some really smart shit. So I guess I'm just emotionally preparing you for that.
Oh no, I'm going to cry.
So that's the thing, right? Caitlin has a lot of that same confidence, but what's behind it is just different values, different goals, different passion, but very different outcomes. So it was funny watching you. Well, I shouldn't laugh, but it's fucking hilarious to me. Watching you didn't even like her name in your mouth. You were just like, it was like someone like sipping and trying to like get a sense of a wine or something. You're like, oh no, this just fucked up my palate. I need a cleanser, like, but something strong. I'm sorry and thank you. It's one of those moments that like always comes up where I'm just like, damn, I wish this was a video podcast. So on that lovely note, your Ace Flag project that you have going on in April. So what can you tell us about it?
So once upon a time, I I did some research about the Ace flag, and I looked into what all the flag colors meant because for all pride flags, all the colors have certain meaning, and the meaning has changed throughout the years. The Ace flag itself has been around for 13 plus years since it's been created, and there's been no real discussion around changing certain things about it. It's just been the way that it is. The meaning of the flag and the colors came through like the Avon forum and people on that page coming to some sort of conciseness. And when I read about it, I was like, oh, the white stripe doesn't align with asexuality at all. The white stripe in the ACE flag stands for non-aces and non-ace partners. And I was just kind of taken aback because, again, I've lived many lives. And many of those lives, I've done a lot of work to make sure that A does not stand for ally, it stands for asexuality. And for that to be something that's been a constant in the asexual community for so many years, and nobody's ever thought to say, maybe we should talk about this now that we're being more like visible in like society. And so I posed that question on Ace and Grace, and I was like, hey, did you all know this? Did you all know this is like a thing? And when I was looking for if it was consistent, there are different meanings on different websites. I got messaged by Ava, and they're just like, no, like the meaning for the white stripe is what you saw, it's this. So I posted that question on Ace and Grace, and I was like, yeah, maybe let's have a conversation about this and see what else we can do about possibly changing it. And there are so many people who were just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't like that either. This is what we could possibly change it to. This is what it could align with. So a lot of people gave their opinions about it and shared what they thought it could be. The Ace Flag project that I'm going to be looking to launch like in April is kind of like aligned with that. Like, hey, we're now a community of people who want more for ourselves and want to be honored more intentionally. So, how can we do that with all of us in mind, with more voices in mind, with more diversity in mind? So, that's kind of what it's going to be leaning towards when it launches. Some of the people who have taken it are like older queers, older aces who weren't so happy about me wanting to change it or me having the idea to change it. But also, we are a community of different ages and different experiences. So I'm hoping to have more people who are open to change so that we are more inclusive in our ACE community.
Our mutual friend Cody, I know, will be probably a little bit panicked if it's not still purple, but like, but I'm all for not once again centering whiteness or
Hmm.
allies. So
Yeah.
yeah, I relate to aceness a little bit differently in a way where sometimes I don't feel like I have a say in that, which
Mm-hmm.
maybe is just like the queer enough in another form
Uh-huh.
that I need to work through
Uh-huh.
because I don't lead with being demisexual or phrasexual and the complexities of that and the fluidity behind those. That's why I feel like I can't have a stake in it. I don't spend a lot of meaningful time, whatever I guess that could look like in ace spaces.
Hmm.
So,
I mean,
but I'll be super curious to watch and see what happens. Yeah.
honestly, like if I don't want it to be like a you're not asexual enough to respond to these things. Like if you've experienced asexuality in any capacity, like you still have an opinion and your opinion should be valued to some capacity. Like you've still aligned with that to some degree in your life and you've still had that experience and have still like given yourself the opportunity to feel if that aligns with you or not. And regardless of whether or not you are asexual, I think it is geared mostly towards asexual community. Queer people have still fought towards not including allies in our spaces because again they are not experiencing queerness the same way we are and they can realistically dip when their feelings are hurt and say fuck queers and we don't want that as a part of like our allyship or advocacy or like people who align with us or want to stand with us through our like hardships. Like that's not fair and that should not be centered at all realistically, and we have had conversations like these across marginalized communities and we should be able to make space for more people who are aligned to our experiences versus people who can leave and go as they so please whether or not they feel like they want to be a part of that hardship or not.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this is helpful for people listening to hear that like even I myself struggle through some of this stuff. So if people want to get involved in the Ace Flag project, how can they? Should they follow you like on Instagram or
Yeah, I'm going to be launching it the week of International Asexuality Day or on International Asexuality Day itself. And I'm going to be posting it on Ace and Grace, and I know Avon will also share it. And I'm also trying to get a few more Ace centered orgs to also share and like uplift it as well.
that's awesome. So knowing that it's falling on April 6th. And of course, we also have later in the year in October, Ace Week. But yeah, for April 6th, International Asexuality Day, what actionable steps and resources do you recommend for people who want to better understand asexuality and support the ace community?
Hmm. I would say follow creators that don't align with your lived experience because that's the best way to just learn and understand how to best support marginalized communities. I would also say be more willing to listen to those experiences versus be combative if they don't align with who you are and how you live your life. I would also say give yourself an opportunity to engage with intention whenever you do enter certain spaces that center asexuality. I know there's going to be a 24-hour live stream on International Asexuality Day, so like if you end up hopping into that, listen to us, listen to people who are communicating and sharing their stories and kind of just sit back and hear about how that may or may not fit in with how you live your life. Maybe people who are part of your communities may align with that. Maybe tell them to join. Just give yourself a lot of opportunity to hear a lot of stories and see how you can be as best of a co-conspirator and advocate to the asexual community as you can be.
I love it. Perfect. When there's cultural awareness events throughout the year and your work is amplified, how does it feel to have your account and work elevated certain times of the year, like Black History Month or Ace Week? Does it feel good to you, or Do you feel like it's tokenizing to a degree?
I love that you asked this question because I thought about this for a while. I dance the line of taking advantage of being uplifted during these months and also understanding that it's really weird that people are choosing to uplift me because they remember that I exist during the specific month. Sometimes, depending on who the creator is, depending on who these people are, I will absolutely align myself with that and like give myself an opportunity to have that conversation with them because I already interact with them in general. When it's people who are just kind of like, yeah, I want you to do this because this is who you are and you don't matter at any other time of the year. Like I have turned down many opportunities when I've been reached out for that and it makes me very upset 'cause I'm just like, don't ask me to be present for you. A, unpaid. B, as a black person. C, just because you want to seem inclusive and want to have more people come to your brand and also not do so at any other time of the year. That is very tokenizing to me. And depending on how I'm feeling, depending on what month it is, I will probably just not be present because I know what's going to happen. I don't want to be a part of that. And that is a blow to me sometimes, but also it's saving my mental health and allowing me to put energy elsewhere. And people will know I come back. That's kind of how I navigate that and how I have chosen to move forward in that capacity because it just makes me feel a lot more in control of how I show up in the world.
You mentioned a book that solidified many of your opinions on refusing compulsory sexuality. So I'm wondering if you can tell us the name of the book, the author, and elaborate on how this book influenced your views and key takeaways that you gained from it.
Yeah, so the book is called Refusing Compulsory Sexuality, a Black Asexual Lens on Our Sex Obsessed Culture by Sharona J. Brown. And the book itself, before it came out, I was really excited because I'm just like, Sharonda's great. They're a dope human being. They're very private, so I'm like, I was really excited about them coming out with a book in general. And me reading the book, it's like, how do I say this? It's kind of like, you have all these thoughts in your head about how you live your life and you feel as though you're the only one experiencing these things. So you sometimes you like spiral or just like I'm so distressed about me feeling so alone in this. That book kind of gave me the opportunity to not only feel less alone, but also understand that what I'm feeling is a collective experience and that I should not feel like I am the only person experiencing these things or being distressed by these things or that these things are invisible or not true or like some other negative thought that was assigned to me because of how I've been outspoken about it. And the book itself talks about how black women especially are being perceived like the mammy, the Jezebel, and like how we are just inherently sexualized and how because of that we are seen as unable to be asexual people or experience asexuality. And because of that, it's even harder for us to come out as asexual people because as a whole, black women have been sexualized from the jump. And society does not allow us to deviate from that without us being exposed to some sort of harm that would then push us back to be seen as that sexual creature or a sexual person, or not even like to be essentially dehumanized because that's most comfortable for people to see us as. So that book kind of just like solidified that in itself for me because again, I grew up not having any of these things, so I was just kind of like, am I the only one feeling these things? And like not being around black women especially to have conversations like these with is just kind of like, am I feeling these things by myself? And it's like, no, you're not. Here's what that comes from. Here's how you're affirmed in those thoughts. And here's decades, hundreds and years of history that has solidified those experiences for all black people, but especially like black women and people who have experienced black femininity to some degree. You're not alone. And I want more people to read it because again, like when you're reading experiences and when you're reading books like these from marginalized people, you are then given an outlook that allows you to see the world differently and also put different pieces together that allows you to see how these specific experiences have also influenced how you see people, how you personally move, how you can deconstruct those biases and how you can be a better co-conspirator, a better advocate, and a more intentional human being, and a person people can see as someone who understands the importance of safety and can also be more vocal when others can't. So that's kind of what that book gave to me. Shout out to Sharonda for writing it. I just want everyone to read that book like forever. I want it to be a part of like school, to be honest.
It sounds like it lends itself well. Yeah. I unofficially, let's say, minored in human sexuality and women's studies.
Mhm.
And I was baffled at, like, as someone who was assigned female at birth, different connections I wasn't even making. Part of that because, like, I failed girlhood, and proudly so. Like, I was never trying to be a girl, even though, like, my grandma was like, be more ladylike. And I'm like, no. So, yeah, I was a cute little tomboy. But yeah, as I started, taking these classes and I was like so fascinated, one of the things that came up, especially I think in the bachelor's program, there was some documentary that I can't recall the name of it right now, but the name is Misrepresentation. I want to say every couple of years they update it. So I'm thinking about you being a Black woman. I'm thinking about you being a model. And one of the things they talked about when you mentioned being dehumanized was that you typically saw Black women who were modeling an animal print, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're reducing them to that. You're not even allowing them to have like a human identity. Now that I can see that, I'm just like, holy shit. But it just wasn't something I was realizing in the advertisements of whatever it was, cologne, whatever the hell. But yeah, was that something that was like also covered in the book?
Yeah, regardless, like a lot of dehumanization is really subtle. You don't even realize it until you realize it, and then you realize it being everywhere. And it's just very, very insane to me because Black women are usually just seen as parts. Women in general are just seen as parts, but Black women especially are usually just seen as parts.
And exotic.
Yes, exotic.
Like
so
a fucking car? Like what?
it's just like, wow, it's like, oh, we're so like feisty, we're so hot-headed, we're so aggressive, and I'm just like, why are you doing this to me? I want to cry. Like, please stop. Like, this is not like how I want to be perceived. But like, it's just like we live in a world that doesn't want to acknowledge all these little things and how these little things add up to how you end up seeing me as a person or seeing me as less than a person. Like, even for the longest time, Black people weren't even seen as people. So like, add that to being a Black woman. It's just like, okay, this is just going to be an uphill battle for a lot of us until we start to acknowledge how these biases actually affect how we move as a society and support and uplift this specific community. And it's just, yeah, as a model, that should suck. I refuse to do a lot of things and like pose in specific ways. I'm just like, I know how this will be perceived and I don't want to be seen as that way. But even as me having more control of my image, I was still demeaned. I was still masculized. I was still seen as not even a woman because of being a Black woman. You're also seen as not feminine enough or like not beautiful enough. And it's just like a lot of these things affect how we hold ourselves in society in general. And if you're living in a world where you don't have Black queer elders or Black elders and queer people who are able to have these discussions with you, how do you end up moving with confidence? And it's really important for like books like this to exist because it's just like your experiences are affirmed. You are not living this alone. But it sucks because we live in a world where our stories aren't being told with intention, or the stories that are being told are trauma porn. Why are we starting in the trenches and having to claw our ways out barely and then have some sort of savior-esque person come and tell us everything's going to be okay? Like, why does it have to be like that? I would really love to see a world where that's no longer a thing, and I think more people are giving way to Black artists and Black creators and Black authors to tell stories that align with more hope and joy and stories that make us feel more human. But again, just hard to find that. So books like this are really important to have because it gives us at least some more history and context as to where it came from so that we can be more intentional about how to not do it moving forward.
Yeah, and I know people may be quick to like push back and be like, "Oh, well, I'm sure there's only like a few examples of these Black women, being forced to wear animal print or something." It's like, no, these documentaries do a pretty good job of curating a really healthy list and presentation for you to show this isn't just like something that happened only a few times. And yeah,
Yeah.
there's threads that continue. What can you tell us about the intersection between transness and asexuality, and what is the connection there? I know it was like one of the things you wanted to talk about, and I was like, where do I fit this in?
I
Um,
know. Okay. Let me first think about this question again. So, when I brought this question up to you originally, it's something that was always on my mind when it comes to transness and asexuality. Because when you're thinking about these two specific identities, it's almost like you see them as polar opposites. And some people you don't really see the overlap because you don't have the lived experience to see that. But for me personally, it's like you're experiencing asexuality. Let's say you're like totally asexual. Let's say like that's who you are as a person. You live without sexual attraction being top of mind, which means you're seeing more desirability with platonic connections. You're seeing more desirability with aesthetics. You're seeing more desirability with community and ways to show love and show attraction without feeling like you have to express that in a sexual manner. Transness for me shows the ability to become something that you were always meant to be and become something that has always been a part of you in a more authentic way. And both these identities decenter heteronormativity in the most aggressive way and in the most intentional way. And the overlap there for me shows that these two experiences have been seen as lesser, have been ostracized from modern history, society, and we often see them as very quick to dehumanize and very quick to lessen. And it's so frustrating for me because if you ever meet a person who's asexual and you ever meet a person who's trans, you'll always see that their connection to community is what makes them thrive the most and what makes them become who they are supposed to be and be as authentically loud and proud in their identities as they should be and lead conversations and lead communities and lead organizations and lead events that bring us all to a point that allows more people who aren't even part of this identity to be seen and feel more comforted in who they are and how they're living their journey. And I really wish people understood that that overlap is for me very intentional and for me something that allows me to feel more comfortable in how I live my life. Again, black trans women did the shit. They did it. It's the only reason why a lot of us are here and out loud in our communities. And on top of that, black trans women centered everyone else. Like everyone else has been uplifted by black trans women. With asexuality, despite the fact that it's not the most out loud sexuality and experience, most asexuals center their friends. Most asexuals center their communities. They center different aspects of love. And for me personally, I will not entertain a romance or sexual interest that does not uplift me the same way my friends do. And that is my bare minimum. And that should be everyone's bare minimum because your friends are the ones that care for you. They hold you. They love you. They support you. They tell you what it is immediately. And if you don't entertain somebody who doesn't do that at the bare minimum, what are you doing? Why are you centering that? Why are you putting yourself in a position where romance is the only way you can experience love and sexual interaction is the only way you can experience community? Like there's so many different ways to do that. And just knowing that these two things are seen as lesser or these two things are seen as less desirable pisses me off because quite literally like these two experiences, if we had less bias around sexuality and gender and understood how to listen to people who are from most marginalized communities, these two experiences could bridge so many gaps that we are missing in how we choose to move forward as a society. It would allow for so much progress to occur. And that's just how I see trans and asexuality and how I want more people to value those identities because quite literally we wouldn't be here without understanding why it's important to value them both.
And the friendship piece is really big because we've just historically placed romantic and sexual relationships above them. We can sometimes really shit on friendships and, maybe only praise them if they're like a best friend or something, or someone might even say something like, I married my best friend. It's weird how we can have that, I don't know, duality, yeah, and not emphasizing the friendships enough because especially a thread that can be so important in the LGBTQ plus community is, and even in neurodivergence, and I'm sure there's other like areas where this applies, but the concept of chosen family, which to me is even more important because it's like I've intentionally chose you as part of my family, and we've mutually done that. Otherwise, that's hella awkward. And so it's like, oh, you don't feel the same way. Oops, I'm gonna go run away forever now. The friendships, the chosen family, all that to me is just like so much more intentional and so much better because it's, and this is my autism probably. I just have never understood why there's so much emphasis placed on blood because some of the people closest to me in my bloodline hurt me some of the most. But I still have to love them. I still have to forgive them. I still, no, like, why? How the fuck does that make sense?
It took me a very long time to accept that as well. I wish with all my heart that my parents and my family was more accepting and understanding to me. And it took me a really long time to understand that it's not fair to me to hold on to a relationship that's causing me harm. And it also took me a longer time to accept how that has also shown up in my relationships outside of my family. And being able to work past a lot of the issues that I've had, specifically with that dynamic, has also allowed me to see how I accepted a lot of shitty things because of those things. But now I'm at a point where I can with confidence say that I don't deserve to be treated like that. I don't deserve to be exposed to those things. I deserve a lot better for me. Has allowed me to, again, build the community that I deserve, have that chosen family, and center my friends a lot more without having the desire to be in a romantic relationship. Because even if I were to end up in a romantic or like sexual relationship, I would want to have a community of people behind me that are able to give me support in case that goes to the wayside. I want to be able to say, oh, yeah, this person was introduced to me by this person. And if I were to need to hold this person accountable, I should be able to have a community of people on my side and on this person's side to have conversations that allow us to mend the relationship or allow us to have more openness and care towards each other, whether the relationship ends up continuing or not. There should be a lot more emphasis around community, realistically, and the importance of why that is so necessary for us, again, progress as a society.
So the whole conversation can basically be summed up community. Period. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Community. It's everything.
Yes.
Or everywhere you want to be because I have branding stuck in my head as a millennial from LA. But I was thinking as you were sharing that, I don't know why I feel moved to share this, but I will. There's that quote that used to go around that you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And you're making a face about that. My experience to that has been that community has taught me how to love myself. And so I don't think that we have to have our shit together in order for other people to see the good in us and to see us for who we are and love us through all of that. And yeah, I really have community to thank for that in a lot of ways, including all the people who are neuroqueer or queer or neurodivergent, like not at the intersection, at different intersections, but being able to have people that so vulnerably share about their experiences and share the memes and all that. So I can have a conversation with my friend this morning and laugh about our preferred utensils and why. And then feel a little bit more seen and validated in a kind of way. That's cool. But that said, what's one allyship tip you'd like everyone listening to consider?
Giving yourself an opportunity to tap into that childlike wonder and assume less. I've actually been having this conversation a lot recently because we talked about like having discernment. So like there are certain assumptions that I have based off of safety reasons, and those assumptions again keep me safe. But then there's other opportunities that I have where it's just like regardless of me being aware of where this could go, I will continue asking questions because I just want to know. Like, I could be wrong and I want to be proven wrong and I want to learn and give myself every opportunity to learn, despite that being a very overwhelming ADHD thing. Like, I have too much knowledge sometimes. Just like, I need to stop asking questions and just be fine with not knowing. But I want to, like, know. I want to know who you are. I want to know more about you. I want to know what brought you here. That could also be like the therapist in me, but that's a whole other type thing. But I just really enjoy learning about people. Like, I really want to know as much as I can about you. And I think me doing that has allowed me to also have less and less biases and understand where people are coming from, where they're at, how I can be supportive, if I should be supportive, if they need support, how can I show up for this specific person or this community if they choose to accept me in or have me as a part of their life. And if my assumptions end up leading me to a place that could have room for like a long lasting friendship, then oh my gosh, amazing. If those conversations and questions lead me to more frustration, then okay, I just learned something and I have another tool in my toolbox in case something else goes awry in that capacity. Like, it's just like,
I gotta laugh because the jargon in our professions is just
ah.
like, oh, you hear yourself saying it sometimes. You're like, oh, yep, there it is.
I
Yep.
hate it. It just makes so much sense. It's like, yes, another tool in my toolbox. Wow. And also just like kids themselves. I have a whole other like dissertation topic around kids, but I really do appreciate how kids just show up authentically in the world. Sometimes they're mean, sometimes they're great, but at the end of the day, they're just trying to figure things out. And we should be able to give ourselves the opportunity to figure things out without assuming that we should know everything because we're elders or adults. We just got here, realistically. Like, a lot of us are also millennials, so now we have big people money, and a lot of us are also spending it on like big kid shit. A lot of fucking people have Lego sets in their home. I have a big ass beanbag that I got purely for the sake of of my childhood not having that. Like, I want to be able to honor that as much as I can because I wasn't given the opportunity to ask those questions when I was younger. And now that I can ask those questions as an adult, I have more language, I have more opportunities to like remove myself from discomfort if I have it, or at least defend myself if I need to and advocate for myself if I need to. So, like, leading with childlike wonder as an adult has allowed me to make really meaningful connections and also give them the opportunity to ask questions like that too. And again, like, lessen shame and at least know how to embrace that shame with less embarrassment and understand how that can be a really is transformable a word? Transforming
It can be.
transformable moment for us all. So yeah, that's kind of where that comes from.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and stop recording.
Oh wait, no, don't do that yet. Hold on.
Okay.
Beep boop pop. Okay, can you give like a little peace sign?
Okay, sure.
Oh, so cute. Okay, I wanted to record the fact that we're at 2 hours and 27 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit stop recording now. Ah. Yeah, that was real. It's definitely on the longer side of the conversations I've had with guests on the podcast. So, Ashabi, thank you for being so generous with your time. I was definitely cussing myself out in post production, but it was worth it. It was just such a treat to chat with you. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for all of the incredible wisdom you've shared. I appreciate it so, so much. So, remember, folks, they have that ACE flag revision survey happening right now. It takes about 3 minutes. If you're ACE, I encourage you to take it. If you're not, I encourage you to pass it on to folks that you may know who are ACE. And I will be super curious to see what happens with the results. But for now, the last 3 self-reflection questions. Number 4. When was the last time I tapped into childlike wonder? Number 5. Do I love myself? What or who taught me how to love myself? How could I love myself a little bit louder? Number 6. When is the last time I experienced discomfort in my allyship? What happened? I am Kate. Could have been great. Surrounded by elder queers, but it's like her ears didn't hear. I won't dead name you. I won't misgender you too. But I still hate you with a fiery passion. Come on, folks, let's get to action. Someone please deplatform her. Then maybe we could finally reform her. I will still hold on to hope. She'll stop being a self-hating trope. Dear Caitlin, please listen and just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and just shut the fuck up. You do nothing but harm our community. So if you get a chance to be quiet, go ahead and grab it. And shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up, dear Caitlin. Visit allyshipisaverb.com for any resources and a full transcript of the episode. And remember, sometimes allyship means tapping into childlike wonder and assuming less.